Ishtathioma, Bright Eyes. I'm so honored to portray you in our new movie. I know you weren't seeking fame. You just wanted to save your people. But I think people need to know your story. I just wonder how many people know who you were.
Wali umalika ano duam umahan yashingan wali mojon gri wali nishra itashe estigri we umahan yashingan momdi wali mojon itashe ida. For hundreds of years, the Omaha have lived on this land by the Missouri River. I am Omaha and grew up on the Omaha Reservation.
Oh, Dadiha.
Wijonge. Hi, Sarah. We were just at Bright Eyes' gravesite, and we overheard you as you thought about who actually knew who Bright Eyes was. And I grew up here, and I didn't really know who Bright Eyes was.
Really? That's actually pretty sad.
Well, the irony is that if it wasn't for her, we'd be living in Oklahoma or somewhere, where the rest of the Ponca were forced to go.
Yeah, I've learned so much about her in the last few months.
I'd like to hear what you learned.
Sure. Bright Eyes was a voice for all natives, explaining the injustices we endured and were suffering. And after the court case, Bright Eyes and Standing Bear then traveled to the East Coast and spoke out for justice. She met with famous people like Louisa May Alcott, who wrote Little Women, and Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. Even though he was the first internationally acclaimed poet of the United States, he said this about Bright Eyes: "I have been a student of the English language for all my life, and I would give all I possess if I could speak with the simplicity, fluency, and force used by this Indian girl." And during the time she met with Longfellow in Boston, she became the first woman ever allowed to speak at Faneuil Hall, which was known as the Cradle of Liberty. She gave an impressive speech about the need for liberty for natives. I also learned that she spoke before Congress, met with President Rutherford B. Hayes, and she was even at Wounded Knee. She was there as a reporter and helped the wounded and dying.
Hi, and we're back at the Missouri River. And you know, the more I learned about her, she was a lot like Forrest Gump. She was everywhere. And she changed the world for good. She showed that one life can make a big difference.
And now that more people know about her, it's time to let people know how they could help make this feature film happen. It's time to introduce our writer and producer, Mr. Derry Thompson.
Thank you, Sarah. You know, it's been an amazing experience working on producing the movie Bright Eyes and writing the screenplay. It's been a long journey for me. I was a publicity director for the Native American film Windwalker back in 1981. That's where I first heard about Bright Eyes. And then I made some documentaries, some other films. Then in 2016, I thought it was time to pursue this project. I sought the blessing of the Omaha tribe, so I traveled to Omaha to seek their acceptance and their support for this movie. I was very happy to receive that. The day before, my guide to show me the reservation was the historical and preservation person, Thomas Parker. Now, while I was seeking the blessing of the tribe and receiving it, little did I know that Thomas was down here at the Missouri River praying about the project.
I said a prayer for the family that you're talking about, because they're the ones that are going to be directly impacted by the story that you intend to tell. Or retell, you know, from what you have gathered, and I know I wanted them to be respected and honored, you know, in that way, on the behalf of the Suzette LaFleche family, and the other individuals that were mentioned. So that was my prayer, was for them, and that there would be a respectful understanding for them, and of course for our elders and our youth. And so when I was finished, and as I was leaving, a bald eagle flew by here, And so, you know, like a lot of our people do that believe and think that way. You know, it's blessed myself, and you know, I felt good. You know, this is right minutes before I went into the meeting.
Wow.
And that's how. And so I'm here thinking, wow, this is where I wanted to start to show you. This is where it started for me.
You know, there's been many incredible experiences like Thomas Parker's that's convinced me that this movie is meant to be made.
Aho, umaha nashiga rai todik tomombri odag. Hello, my name is Calvin Harlan. I'm a member of the Omaha tribe of Nebraska and Iowa. I come to you today with a message. First of all, Jerry Thompson came to our people. He came to us with honor and respect. He came to us with this vision of this project on his mind, and he shared it with our leadership. Our leadership were excited to be a part of this project as it focuses on one of our historical elders, our relatives. With this project, Jerry also talked about his dream. Jerry's vision and our vision is to build a village, a historical village that can be looked upon as a tourist attraction after this project is complete. Jerry's plan for this is to help all the tribes across the United States with different issues that come up within their reservations. So we ask that you help us on this worthwhile project and be a part of this for all of us. Thank you.
The question is, how do we do that? Instead of a big investor, we're looking for people who can afford to put in $20. They'll get a DVD after the movie is made. It's called a Kickstarter process, a crowdfunding campaign. Let's get this movie made.